Let's welcome in our first guest today, Jordan Leslie, one of 3 recent graduate transfers to come to BYU to play football. He's leaving Utep to don the Cougar blue. Now, Jordan, I know you're from Houston. We love food, and Texas is a great place for food. I've been to Frenchie's Chicken by the campus of the University of Houston. I'm guessing that in El Paso, when you were at Utep, you had some great dishes as well. What will you miss most about Texas food?
Being in El Paso, they have great Mexican food, so, that's something great. Even Mexican breakfast is great. So, I'm going to miss that. I'm really excited to go up there.
Yeah. Can you bring some of that Mexican food with you?
Yeah, I'll try to save you a plate when I come up there.
Very good.
Jordan Leslie is on BYU Sports Nation. Jordan, I guess what influenced you to want to be a graduate transfer from Utep and come to BYU?
Well, when I was first able to, talk to different schools, I wanted to contact my old coach, Coach Holiday, of course. He was my receiver coach for 3 years and, somebody I trusted. And I heard that he was at BYU. I kind of looked in more into the university, and I saw, how prestigious it was, the talent that they had for next year, and, I got really excited.
Jordan Leslie with us on BYU Sports Nation, a graduate transfer leaving UTEP to play for BYU during his final season. Jordan, you have quite the schedule over the next few weeks to try and wrap things up down there so that you can get to BYU. What is your school schedule like, and how are you going to manage that so you can get to Provo?
Well, right now I'm taking 17 hours, and I also have like a senior project that I need to finish.
17?
Yes, sir. I mean, it's been tough. I see the light at the end of the tunnel, so I'm just kind of moving towards it and just trying to get to May 17th so I can graduate.
What's this senior project you have to do?
For electrical engineering, everybody has to do a group of about 4 has to work on a senior project, and since I speeding up my process to graduate early, I had to do it by myself.
Oh.
And so, yeah, it was tough, but, I created a, kind of like a Connect 4 type of game. There's a controller that can display onto a TV.
Nice.
And it's basically just Connect 4. I just named it 4 on the line. There's UTEP colors and stuff like that.
Nice. That's fantastic. Are you, like, running routes in it? Are there, the passing tree involved or anything?
No, not that extent. I mean, if I was smart enough to do a football game, I would have done that.
Very good. We're going to need to get one that has blue and white colors that we can bring on the set here on BYU Sports Nation. Is that something we can work into the future?
Yeah, we'll have to work that into the future. I have the code for it, so that's pretty creative.
Very, very good. Jordan Leslie with us on BYU Sports Nation. Very accomplished receiver while he was at UTEP, now bringing his talents to Provo, Utah. You mentioned the Guy Holiday connection in the recruitment to BYU, but you said other schools as well. What other schools were you looking at besides BYU when you were approaching a final year post-graduation?
When I first talked to Coach Holiday, that was my main school I wanted to attend. But, I was talking to, different schools, trying to, just get some feelers out there and see who was interested. And I even talked to, different players from different schools, friends that I know and stuff like that. But, there wasn't too many schools I was really sure about like I was BYU.
Jordan Leslie's on BYU Sports Nation. The other day on Twitter, I noticed that you were fired up about CBSSports.com. They did a 2015 mock draft. They named you as the 51st, best receiver going into this season. You were fired up because you felt like you should be higher. Why is it that you feel you should be higher, and where do you think you fit?
I feel like I should be higher in my stats. Stats don't lie. And, being at UTEP, I was on the record to, break almost all the receiving records the next year. And, having just over 2,000 yards in 3 years, I felt like that was a great accomplishment. And, looking at some of the stats and stuff like that of other players, I felt like I was kind of, disrespected a little. And, I'm really excited. I'm a competitor. I want to be the best. And, I'm trying to go out there and, prove to everyone that, BYU made a great choice and I can, help the Cougars next year.
So if 51st is too high, where do you feel like you fit in nationally among receivers? Or too low, I guess.
I myself, being competitive, I want to say, I'm top 10. That's not trying to be cocky in any way. I want to have that work ethic where, I want to be the best. And I feel like that's a great mentality. To be a competitor, and to want to be the best, that pushes me hard every day. When I see someone else outworking me, I want to beat them. Sometimes in class, I want to beat people and taking notes. Like, I just want to be the best.
Absolutely.
Jordan, what is your role going to be as a member of this BYU football team? And when you look at arguably the deepest wide receiver core that the Cougars have ever had.
In my career, I've been known as a deep threat. A lot of teams played me, running past them and stuff like that. But I'm also a real physical receiver. I'm a pretty big receiver at, about 215 and about 6'2", 6'3". So I feel like I can play a lot of different roles. I don't want people just to think I'm just a deep threat. I also can be, a great route runner. Can be physical and just everything. So I'm coming in to be a, down by down receiver.
Jordan Leslie is on BYU Sports Nation. What kind of communication with future teammates and Taysom Hill, Bronco Mendenhall have you had so far?
I've had a chance to talk to Taysom a few times, and we're both real excited about this next year. When I came on a visit, I got to communicate with a lot of the players, and it's a great group of guys, and I'm really excited get to know them better and work with them day to day, through workouts and even practices.
Are you cutting any side deals with Taysom Hill to get the ball more?
Of course not, but I've already let him know I come in June 1st, and from that day to the day we start games, so I'm trying to work every day. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to, me and him have a great connection, and I'm trying to, show it next year.
44 receptions last year, 612 yards, 7 touchdowns. As a junior, you have 15 touchdowns in your career. So I know that those numbers make a lot of BYU fans excited. Now, I'm going to take you outside a little bit with conditioning. I'm guessing that El Paso in August is a little warmer than Provo, Utah. Transitioning north to Provo, is that going to help you become that much greater of a receiver, given that you won't have to go through the heat of Texas summer?
Yes, sir. Of course, I don't think Provo's going to be as hot as some of the summers I've had here, and also being from Houston, how humid it is. So I've been through a lot of different climates. And going up to Provo, it's going to be different during the winter. But I'm really excited about it. Hopefully, I wasn't really excited about the stats I put up last year, and I was expecting put up a lot more. But so hopefully this senior season, I can accomplish those goals.
Jordan, what you end up coming to BYU? You said electrical engineering. What's the major that you've picked, if you've picked one at BYU as a graduate?
Right now, I applied for the executive MBA program, and it's under Steve Hart, and it's more like a leadership program. I'm really excited about that. It kind of helps you. A lot of engineers have trouble speaking, stuff like that. And, being a leadership and kind of getting that leadership role also helped me on the field as well as in the classroom and in my workplace.
Do you expect to get drafted next year? Is that the goal for you?
Of course, being a football player, that's my goal. But right now I don't even want to think about that. I just want to think about next year, next football season, and how we're going to go undefeated.
Do you know how many days it is until you will be in Provo? You said June 1st. Is that a definite thing? Is it 1 month from today when you will land in Provo?
After graduation, I'm going to drive my car up there from El Paso to Provo. So that'll be a long, interesting ride. And then I think I'm going to go home for about 10 days, and yes, I come back June 1st.
You just mentioned that you're going to go undefeated. Which one of the games do you see as the toughest game, with games like at Texas, at Central Florida, Boise State, Houston, which is probably of note to you, having been from Houston?
So, every time I walk in any season, I want to say that we're going undefeated. I have faith in the team. And, being from Texas, I always looked up to UT and stuff like that. And they recruited me for a while. That's my number one game I'm looking for, and that's probably going to be the toughest game. It being at UT, the weather's going to be, pretty hot being the second game of the season. And so that's going to be probably my most wanted game and also probably our toughest game.
Have you circled any other games besides the Texas game on the future BYU schedule?
Of course, Houston. Being from Houston, that's another big one. And really the first game of the season. That's going to be where we all set our mark for the season. So that should be our first game that we're worried about.
Jordan Leslie on BYU Sports Nation, one of 3 graduate transfers that have selected BYU for their respective final seasons. We talked about your role in a very deep wide receiver core. What specific skills do you bring besides the physicality? And you said that you're a deep threat, but what when people describe Jordan Leslie, what do you want people to say about you?
One thing I want to say is, I'm a leader. Coming in, I know I'm going to be one of the oldest receivers in the receiving corps, and probably one of
not
the
by age at BYU though.
not by age, but by experience. And I know a lot of them are going to have questions and stuff like that. And I just want to come in and be able to help everybody. I mean, it's not a receiving corps is not just about one person's stats. It's about everyone. We all get each other open, and that's why I'm really excited. The signees we have coming in, it's going to be great for BYU also.
Well, given the numbers you put up, we had a discussion the other day, Jordan, about who will be the most impactful transfer that BYU has. I said you because of your track record. Do you feel positive pressure to come in and have a great season in the one and only season as a Cougar?
Well, I appreciate you picking me. If I had to pick 2, I'd pick me also, just because I'm coming in. I'm coming with that mentality. I'm coming in with the mentality to be the best, and with my track record also, I know, Taysom's going to have a lot of faith in me. The coach is going to have a lot of faith in me. I want to come and, make a step for my 1 year.
Well, Cody Hoffman graduated, and so there are going to be some extra passes to be caught this season.
Well, I'll have to talk to Taysom when I get up there.
Absolutely.
1 month from today.
Jordan Leslie on BYU Sports Nation. Great to have you with us. We wish you the best of luck over the next 17 days.
Yeah, you need that.
Survive and advance. We give you BYU Sports Nation karma so that you can survive
in the classroom
the end of your Utep career and get to Provo without any hitches.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I'll try to get that plate of food to you.